Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. What a great day to have a Pirate Broadcast and bring interesting people doing interesting things. And today we have Trevor in the room, rocking and rolling here today. And we're going to be talking a little bit about what he's got going on and everything that we can do to help the community. The pirate community is awesome. Thank you so much for being here. All the gratitude in the world. And if you're joining in, let us know that you're watching in and ask questions, make comments, engage with us. And if you're not connected with Trevor, now that he's a pirate, reach out and say, hey, I'm a pirate. Let's connect, Trevor. So good morning, Trevor. How are you this fine day?
Good morning. Doing fantastic. How are you?
Oh, better than average. Better than average. You know, I was thinking about our call today and this pirate broadcast, and there's still a lot of people that are, you know, looking out for how we can get noticed, how we can get seen. And I was actually working on a course last night about the same thing, you know, and how I could give back to the community. And so I was thinking to myself, you know, I have the pirate broadcast, that's 5 days a week. And then also there's other people like yourself that also have shows and events taking place. And one of the things that you have going on is what's it called? The
Who You Know
Who You Know
show.
Dot show. So talk a little bit about the Who You Know show.
Yeah, so the Who You Know Job Networking show started about almost 3 years ago. And really it all started when my business partner, his name's Mark Elder, we started volunteering in the community with job seekers. And there's a lot of churches out here in Dallas, Fort Worth area that have had these job seeker networking groups. Mm-hmm. And they've been established for like 20 plus years. And so we kind of found out all this stuff existed and started volunteering and giving back. And the one thing that we found, though, is that they were all kind of siloed off in different, different churches, and they weren't really unified. There was nothing there that was connecting these different resources. There was a ton of them out there, but they were all kind of siloed. And so I decided to do the radio platform. It started radio, and now we're TV. But we decided to go radio and to host a show to bring on different guests, to bring on the recruiters, the hiring managers, the career coaches, even job seekers, so that they can have a platform to talk. And the whole premise was to bring that network together, right? We wanted to be the platform that kind of brought it all together. And so that's how I got started. And it's really just grown, and a lot of really cool things are happening ever since we've started that. It was about 3 years ago.
You know, it's interesting because I know there's a lot of people out there that, you know, when they don't have a job, when they all of a sudden their job is ended for whatever reason, you know, a pandemic, market reduction, you know, anything, job changes, things like that, restructuring. I've had that experiences, you know, more than once. And it's like, okay, somebody else made a decision in the organization. All of a sudden my position's eliminated. And that leaves an individual, especially if you've been there for any length of time, you know, 10, 15 years. And it's really about the idea of how do I get back into a mindset and an attitude that I can actually go out and have the confidence and know that my skills are valuable, and I can actually, you know, go out there with knowing that it's like, hey, because it's discouraging at times. So how do you coach people through this process to give them the confidence to go out there again and knock on doors?
100%. So mindset is one of the number one things. I think it's probably the most important thing. So I'm glad you brought that up. Big mission that I'm on is to help elevate job seekers' mindset, because we've seen everything. I've seen people just broke down crying,
Yeah.
people committing suicide. I mean, you name it. I've seen it. We've been doing this for so long. And mindset is it. I mean, if you're going into an interview carrying a bunch of negativity, carrying a bunch of, oh, woe is me, or, it's
Victim
really like
mentality.
when you lose that job, it's like, they say you go through the stages of grief as if you had a death, right? I mean,
Yeah.
one chapter of your life is kind of dying, right? It died, and now you have to go start a new chapter in your life. And so you've got to have acceptance. You've got to be able to get back up. I tell people, you know what you need to do? You get one day, and that's my kind of my blessing for people is you get one day,
Uh-huh.
okay, to scream, cry, yell, punch the ground, throw a fit,
Whatever.
whatever you need to do to make you feel good, to get it out of your system, right? Because I
Yeah.
think we all need that from time to time. We just need to be broken. Sometimes you need to be broken. Okay,
Yeah.
but you get one day to be broken. You don't need to spend months, right? Go through
Yeah.
that grieving process quickly, get it out of your system, and move forward. Get back up and start surrounding yourself with people who are going to speak life into you, people that are going to, lift you up and to encourage you, to start feeding your mind early in the morning. Like that's one of the first things you want to do. Get the word out, start maybe, reading the Bible, turn on inspirational things on
Don't turn on the
YouTube.
news.
Yeah,
Don't
don't,
turn
no,
on
no,
the
no, no,
news.
no. No, you want to avoid things that are, gonna start. I mean, the news is scary right now, guys. Let's be honest about that. The news is scary. You see what's going on in the world, especially if you're a job seeker right now.
Yeah.
There's so much uncertainty. But you know what? There is certainty, in our Creator, that He's gotten you through all those situations in your life. If you've ever been in a situation, right?
Yeah.
He's got you through it. So have faith. He'll get you through this one too. He's going to get you through. And
Eventually, it all works out.
it
That's
does. And typically it works out for your good,
yeah.
right? Like when you look at it and you come through the other end of it and you're like, oh man, you know what? Now I see what God had in plan for me. I see what
Yeah.
He did. I see
Yeah.
why he put these obstacles in my way. A lot of times if you embrace that journey, embrace it, right? It'll make you sharper on the other end. You'll come out a better version of yourself. You'll be sharper. You'll understand how to overcome these objections. Like you're going to be just to be a better version of yourself when you come through on the other end.
I think one thing that we need to do as individuals also when this takes place in our lives, any kind of change, it doesn't necessarily have to be a job loss, but any kind of drastic change in our lives, it requires us to think about, okay, don't take it personal. Just look at it as an event and an experience and say, what can I learn from this? What
100%.
benefits can I pull out of this experience that's uncomfortable right now? It's not bad. It's not good. It's just uncomfortable. And we really have to focus in on some of the things that we're surrounding our lives with. Sometimes you need to change your environment. Sometimes you need to think and get a little more spiritual evidence in your life and think about what's really important. Am I spending time in the right place and doing the right things? Am I being the person I need to be in order to achieve the results I'm looking for? And all of those things line up to help us understand ourselves a little bit better. And I think self-awareness has a big part of that.
Self-awareness is huge. You need to know what areas you are good, strong, and you need to know what areas you're not. And
Yeah.
if I had to give some advice to job seekers, the one thing that I see all the time, and I know it goes back to mindset. Okay, what I find is that job seekers tend to go into a scarcity mindset, right? And for some, it is absolutely true. Like
Mm-hmm.
resources, financial resources might be completely scarce, right? You may be down to your last dime. So for some, that is a valid mindset. But
Yeah.
for a lot I meet a lot of people who they fall into that mindset just because they're out of work, their income is gone, but they've got other resources. They've got things going on. They've been saving for, their entire life. A lot of what's happening is the baby boomer generation is getting let go. They're moving up that corporate ladder. They're getting up to the top where their nice salary is real nice and cushy, and these companies are cutting the top, right? Because that's where all the high salaries are.
Yeah.
And so you find senior level executives back in the search.
Yeah.
And so these folks, a lot of them have resources, they have financial resources and things like that. But what happens is they get into that scarcity mindset of like, oh my gosh, I can't, I just gotta have to conserve, right? And it's actually, it will hurt them in the long run. And let me explain why. There are a lot of tools out there that you can apply in your job search that are not expensive, but they do cost. Okay, that there may have a little bit of, maybe $30 a month, $40 a month, something like that. And I see it all the time. They won't do it, right? Because they get into that scarcity mindset. And what actually ends up happening is their job search takes longer because they're doing it the hard way. Like, I'll give you an example. If you can, maybe you're not a resume writer, like you're not an expert at that. This is where I'm saying, if you identify the things that you're not good at, maybe that's not what your expertise is. Well, go hire someone who can do that for you, who can sharpen it up. And yeah, you may spend a couple $100, but you're going to be way further ahead if you do that.
Well, consider it an investment.
Exactly. You're investing in yourself. And so I see that a lot of times is that it goes back to mindset, because they go into scarcity mindset. Now, I would challenge that mindset and look at it as like, okay, some people, it's valid. It's 100% valid. You're down to your last nickel and dime. And if that's you, that's not who I'm really talking to here. There are some people, though, you've got, you got $1 million sitting in an old 401k somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? You've got resources. So why would you not
have the ability to do major work in your job search?
Totally. So you can take some of those resources, spend a couple $1,000 total, right? I'm talking total. Spend a little bit of money, invest in yourself, and what it'll end up doing is it will shorten that cycle. Instead of taking 6 months, it may take 3 months. And ask yourself, what is that 3 months worth to you? Yeah. Like, how much money were you making per month? Let's say it's $10,000 per month. Well, that 3 months is $30,000. So would you spend $2,000 to gain 30? Yes, right. Yeah. So it's an investment. You've got to get back to employment as soon as you can. And if you have the resources, outsource is what I'm saying. You need to outsource some of that work and get to the result faster.
Well, I think
don't do it the hard way.
Document and delegate that stuff. As soon as you identify, hey, this is a strength, this is a weakness, I'm going to take my weakness and I'm going to delegate everything. I'm going to use my strength, and that's what I'm going to invest my time in.
Bingo. Time management.
I want to give a shout out to some of the people here this morning. Gabriel, good morning. Thank you so much for being here. Gabriel, I don't know if you know Gabriel or not. He has a show. He's actually in your neck of the woods as well. He's got a show in the evenings called the Made from Scratch broadcast. So that's awesome. Sherry Lawley, she's a good supporter in the pirate community. Sherry, thank you so much for rocking it this morning.
I love that. She's got all the emojis in there, the pirate emojis. What's up, Sherry?
Yeah, she just slap tags her businesses. She's amazing. So Jeffrey E. Berger, good morning, gents. Providing value and giving back in a huge part of my vision to my holistic mental wellness business. Definitely a massive need to bringing awareness. There's a lot of challenges we have right now in the mental wellness, and I think it's touched a lot of us that that we know somebody or we have somebody that's in need of support in that way. Lori Knudsen, good morning, everyone. It's Lori. In case my name still isn't showing up, your name is showing up. I have missed everyone. Thank you so much for being here. So fantastic. I appreciate that. So Kathy Spooner, good morning. Jeffrey's going to be back. I've spoken to Gen X boomers who have impacted 9/11, 2008 recession, COVID-19 today. There are tools out there that people take notice of the benefits for what they are looking for. Yes, Russ, investment in self. So let's keep that going, folks. Trevor's an amazing individual and a resource that if you're looking or somebody that's looking for work, reach out to Trevor, let him know that you're a pirate, and let's get some help out there for individuals. Maureen,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Hey, Russ, thank you so much. I love you. So Facebook user delegate. Yes.
Yep.
So, and for the Facebook users that don't see their name popping up, you can actually go to StreamYard and accept their accept to be seen. I should post that. I'll have to post that later on. Kathy, Sherry Lolly, Gabriel saying, Sherry Lolly, good morning, my friend. Gabriel and Sherry. This is the way the community goes back and forth. They have comments and connections inside here. And Debbie Weems, hey, you're LinkedIn expert on Facebook this morning. LOL. Fantastic. Welcome to here. Rick Henderson from Rick. Good morning. How are you, my friend? We got to get you on the show. I think we've connected at some point in time. So Trevor, let's shift gears a little bit. And so how long have you been doing the employment side of the equation, the volunteering and helping and assisting individuals getting back into their the swing of the job market and moving forward on this stuff?
Yeah, I started about 5 years ago. I was introduced to a local group where I'm at called Frisco Connect, and they meet at Stonebriar Community Church in Frisco, Texas, and an amazing ministry. I mean, walk in the room and there's 100 job seekers there, and your job is just go in there and support, encourage, lift people up. And I mean, it's just an amazing ministry. And but yeah, what I saw was there was the baby boomer generation is what I saw was struggling the most, and because people that were maybe millennials or even Gen X, they were in and out. They would they'd be there and then they'd get hired real quickly. But the baby boomer generation tended to take a lot longer. Their job searches are taking a year and a half. One of them was 28 months. And so what happens is the longer that search goes, you start to mentally abuse yourself. You start to feel like you're damaged goods or there's something wrong with you. And, it's all a lie, right? It's the enemy trying to tear you down. Yeah. I mean, it is my opinion about that. But you start to take all that rejection as if there's something wrong with you. And these are people that were at high levels in their careers. Senior level executives, and now all of a sudden they can't get a job for a year and a half, 2 years.
It wears on you.
Oh man, it beats them down. And so, like I said, we've had people, take their lives, and we've seen it all, man. And so my heart goes out. I love these people. I love my community. I love, job seekers, man. You got the hardest job out there. It's the hardest job you will ever do.
And you got to wake up and be positive every single day.
Yeah, 100%. And
what about the other side of the equation, Trevor? I mean, you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I'm an entrepreneur. I've been in corporate America. I've been ejected from the ivory tower more than once.
Yeah.
I've had things, I've lost things. It's like, to me, that's, chapters in the book of life. And the last time it's like, hey, I'm not going to do this again. I'm just going to start my own business. I'm going to keep going on my own business. And I've been doing that for the last, decade. And
I'm a huge advocate for that.
And I think right now there's a lot more opportunity for independent people that are especially skilled workers like the senior executives.
Yeah.
Some of these things that are going in and around companies or organizations or startups, they
Yeah.
need the expertise, they need the wisdom to be able to see around the corners, to be able to see the things that they can't see. And I think there's a huge opportunity out there for the people that are willing to step it forward into that. I mean, it's not an easy environment to step into. So what are your thoughts and suggestions for people that are thinking about that?
Well, there's never been a better time than 2020. Let's put it that way. We've got all the technology that you can, be an entrepreneur. You can start a business, create your LLC, get out there. The tools are there. The number one thing that is the biggest challenge is visibility, right? Any new business. I don't care if you're a doctor, lawyer, financial services, whatever the heck your business is, or you're, creating a I don't know, a candle business, whatever it is, right? It doesn't matter. The number one thing in business is visibility. If you're not visible, you're gone, right?
Yeah.
And so, we have tools
Yeah.
like that exist today that allow you to be visible. And it can be hard though. I mean, when you're first starting with social media and things like that, breaking through the noise.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of noise on social media. So how do you break through the noise? Educate yourself, go through some courses, learn this stuff.
Be a lifelong learner.
Lifelong learner, yeah. But I'll tell you, there's never been a better time. I mean, I'm convinced by that. I mean, you see right now.
I actually 100% believe that, because there are so many things that are taking place in these days and ages that, the Pirate Broadcast is an experiment just to prove that, because I built systems around this. I'm doing this 5 days a week. I'm reaching out. I'm booking guests 5 days a week. And to me, it's like clockwork. It's like I enjoy the idea of getting up and having a conversation with Trevor on a Monday. It's like talking about job search. And then throughout the week, I'll be talking to other people about different subjects and different topics. And it's hopefully valuable to other people. And that's something that you can start from nothing. And if you want to pursue it, you can do that. And sometimes highlighting other people brings you visibility,
Oh, 100%.
be
I'll
seen,
tell you,
be heard, and be talked about, right?
when we started that, the Who You Know show, right?
Uh-huh.
That was massive because you are investing in other people, right? When you are interviewing someone else, right, you're highlighting them and you're investing in them, and you'll start to create these amazing relationships, and those relationships will open up doors for you.
It's all about the relationships, isn't it, Trevor?
Well, that's why we call the show Who You Know Job Networking Show, because it's not what you know, it's who you know. And the people that you associate with can elevate you, right? I mean, they say you're the average of the top 5 people that you associate with, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, why not try to elevate that circle, right? And if you're hanging out with, the Jerry Joneses of the world, and you think, like, if there's the top 5 people in your world were like Jerry Jones, Oprah Winfrey, like a bunch of successful people, you're probably going to be pretty successful just by default. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it changes the conversation too. It's all of a sudden, when you're visible and you have some authority and you're talking about subjects that people are interested in listening to, and you can actually have conversations like this, it really changes the dynamic and who shows up in your world too.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I've got to interview some pretty amazing folks, and it's about to 10x. I mean, we're just getting started, really. I mean, we've been doing it we're in our 3rd year, but there's something to consistency, right? I like what you're doing, where you said you're doing this 5 days a week.
Yeah.
5 days a week. Okay. And how long have you been doing this?
It'll be coming up on a year now.
Okay.
So I got 230 episodes. So
man, so what you did what we did in a year, right? Because you're doing it every single day. You
Yeah.
know, we've got somewhere around the same amount of episodes, but you've been doing it like we do it once a week, right?
Yeah.
Once a week. You're doing it every single day. Bop, 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 bop. You're showing up every day. So you're 10x in that, right? And I like what you're doing. I think that's amazing, right? And it's the consistency.
Yeah.
There's so many people that start stuff like this and don't see it through because it gets hard, it gets challenging. I mean, to do it every single day. I mean, I do it once a week and I know what it's like to do it every day, right?
5 days a week. 5 days a week.
Well, 5 days a week.
Weekdays.
You are putting in work, right?
Yeah.
What you are doing is work. You are putting in a lot of work to make this kind of stuff happen. So, like, your audience should appreciate that. The fact that you're showing up every single day or every weekday, and you're putting in a lot of work. And that's why people stop, right?
Yeah.
That's why they're not consistent, is because it's a lot of work. And, you know, after a certain amount of episodes, after about 15 episodes, they're like, oh man, this is hard.
Well, I think not only do they say this is hard, is that it's a long game. It's
Right.
not an overnight success. You're not just going to all of a sudden, hey, get Vanderchuck's status. You're not going to,
No.
you're not going to do Tony Robbins' efforts. You're going to get one viewer at a time, here and there, and you're going to build your audience slowly and build a community, develop relationships, and continue. And you have to enjoy it. I enjoy getting up in the morning and bringing something to someone else, highlighting somebody in the community that I may not know. We've never had a conversation before, Trevor. I mean, we know each other online, and that's an introduction to have a conversation. It's like, okay, well, let's have a conversation. Let's publicize it so others can enjoy the conversation.
I love that. I mean, I tell people all the time, it's like, all right, if you have to network, this is what I tell my job seekers. Like, if I'm having to network as a job seeker to connect with people, to try to open those doors, to get my resume to the hiring manager, that's the ultimate goal. Well, if I'm having a network, well, let's do it on Zoom or some platform like this. Let's interview each other. Let's record it. Yeah. And then you can even chop it up into micro content, and you might get, 5 to 10 pieces of micro content out of it that's built for the newsfeed, because no one in the newsfeed, unless they're coming to watch a show like this, no one's going to watch 27 minutes. You know what I mean? Unless they're coming for it, right? But if you're just scrolling, you're not going to be like, you're not going to. It's got to be maximized for the newsfeed, which means it's got to be around a minute long,
or less.
Or less. Quick little snippets, right? And so, but to be able to take an interview like this and chop it up and have a bunch of little pieces of micro content for a job seeker or for anybody, right? It's super valuable. Super valuable.
It's huge. It's huge.
It is.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to a few more people here that are in the room. I want to be able to say hi. Donna Peters is in the room. The Me Suite. Fantastic. Wendy. Hello, Pirates. How are you, Wendy? She's a great author, and she's been doing a lot of children's books. Trevor, you're exactly correct. After 27 years as a software engineer was devastating, but turned to be a solo entrepreneur, and has been so rewarding for me. Hear you, Russ. That's awesome. Yes.
Love that, Jeffrey. Good job, man.
Turn it around. Make lemonade. Make lemon pie, make lemon juice, make lemon torts. Wendy Kahuli, good morning, friends. I miss seeing you around. So Rick Henderson says back, I agree. Now is the time to invest in yourself and build a dream into something significant.
Yeah, I love that. Dream big. When did we stop dreaming? When did we stop dreaming? Because, as kids, you wanted to be an astronaut, you wanted to be a firefighter or whatever your dreams were, a movie star. And then all of a sudden we just stopped dreaming. Life took us in a direction and we just decided, well, that's what I'm going to do. And you just continue to do it. And like 70% of Americans are unhappy with what they do for a living. Yeah. We only got one life to live, and you spend like a big portion of your life at work. So like, if you're not happy,
enjoy it. you know?
Like, do something about it. Like, I love what Gary Vee says all the time. He says, you know, you want your words for motivation? He says, you're going to die. Do something about
Yeah.
it. Right.
Statistically speaking, you're going to be dead a lot longer in the big picture than you're alive. So make
Yeah.
the most of it.
Yeah. Like, go get happy, whatever you need to do to make that happen. And just, that's where that awareness key comes in. What you were talking about earlier, what makes you happy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Jeffrey says Russ is consistent and persistent. Awesome. Yes, it's a long game for sure. Absolutely resonate with what you're both talking about today. Powerful information.
Thanks,
Thank you
Jeff.
so much, Jeffrey. And then Ken's an awesome individual. He's a pirate as well. Passion and commitment are key ingredients to success. Thanks for what you do, Russ Johns. Great points, Trevor. And
Thanks.
then Kenyatta's here. Good morning, Gabriel, Donna Peters, Rick Henderson, Sherry Lawley. The pirates are in the room. Love the idea of outsourcing. Surround yourself with what experts and to raise your game. That's a great piece of advice, Donna. This is why I do what I do. Lori is awesome. Connect with Lori. Make sure that you're doing these things. Well, Trevor,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, that's part of the game is make the connections till that it's comfortable to make connections. You know, reach out to people, ask questions, ask better questions, and don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, I think a lot of our society is this independence, this strong independence, and I can't show any kind of weakness at all, and I have to be this certain way to certain people all the time. And I think it's really, I think it's not necessarily to our advantage to think that way.
Well, and it's also, you know, I agree with what you're saying, but it's also uncomfortable sometimes to ask, right?
Yeah.
Like fear, I think, is the main thing holding people back from asking. Like, there's this, you know, you get that tingly feeling. Like, let's say you're at a meeting or something, and there's someone there that you know that person has the key to open the door. You know, there's an opportunity. That person has something you need, right? And you get that kind of tingly feeling,
Yeah.
like, man, I know I need to ask them this. I know I need to go and introduce myself. I know I need to like go shake their hand or somehow like I got to be able to like talk to this person.
Yeah.
That's like what I call your spidey sense, right? You know,
Yeah.
it's tingling for a reason,
Yeah.
and usually people withdraw because that is it's in our brains from back when we were like living in the wilderness and stuff like that. It's to keep you safe, to keep you in your comfort zone.
It's the lizard brain mentality.
Yeah, we got to get out of our comfort zone because that's where growth happens. Because that person could change your life, right? So I've recognized now that when I get that tingly feeling, I recognize it and I embrace it. I understand what it is, okay, and it's fear, okay, and fear keeps you isolated, keeps you stuck, keeps you from making those bold moves, from going and introducing yourself to a Jerry Jones, right? You know, because you're afraid you're going to say the wrong thing or whatever, right? Whatever your fears and anxieties are.
Yeah.
Fear will keep you stuck. And so we've got to get past the fear zone. We got to get to the learning zone and the growth zone. And the growth zone is where we, you know, find our purpose, we find our mission, we're able to live out our dreams. And if you don't go out there and make bold decisions to go, when you feel that thing start tingling inside of you, that's game on. Like when you feel that means let's go. It's time. So I used to struggle with public speaking, right? That was my number one fear, and it kept me from a lot of great things. But I had to overcome it. I knew it was holding me back. I had to overcome that, and now I love it. I still get that tingly feeling though. I still get that fear, right? But now I use it to fuel me. It's an energy for me now, right? And so I've kind of like adapted something that if I ever feel uncomfortable, if I ever have that tingly feeling, I have to do it, even if it's something silly, right? I have to do it. Okay, I have to overcome it. If I'll give you an example. I was watching an interview of Amelia Antonetti, and this girl, man, I'm going to tell you, she was lighting up the room. She was just on fire. And man, to go talk to her was a little bit intimidating because this
Yeah.
lady, she's just on fire. And I started to feel that tingly feeling. But I'm like, I have to.
Have to go talk to
I
her.
have to. And so I did. And now like we're getting things connected. Dots are starting to connect. She's coming onto my show and stuff like that. And like, if I would have retreated in that position, right? As soon as I got that feeling, I'm like, oh no, this
All of those opportunities would evaporate.
is gone. You got one shot. It's like Eminem's song, right? Like you only got one shot, right? What are you gonna do?
So what's the big push for the next future for Trevor right now? Just develop the show and continue to help individuals? Anything else?
Right now a big mission that I'm on is to elevate the level of the caliber, I guess you could say, of guests that we're inviting on and stuff like that. Like I'm in the process right now working on getting Elena Cardone on. There's just some big names that I'm trying to achieve. What my goal is, I really want to be, if you can imagine, the Tony Robbins of job search, right? There's a lot of Tony Robbins type motivational speakers that for business owners, for entrepreneurs that are trying to 10x someone's business, right? 10x growth con and things like that. Like that stuff exists, but not for job seekers.
Yeah.
Right. And so what I want to do is I want to be that level of energy and to have that kind of a high impact meeting where job seekers come in broken. They're on the bottom, but they're going to leave on the top feeling that they can accomplish the world. They can take on the world, that they have what it takes, and they have the tools now to actually go home and apply. And so that's kind of my goal and my mission. And so right now I'm trying to learn from those people. I'm trying to learn from Grant Cardone and from Tony Robbins and from David Meltzer and Glenn Lundy and like some people that are doing some amazing things. I'm just learning. I'm a sponge because I want to be able to bring that same kind of energy to an audience that really couldn't afford to go to a conference like that. And I'm going to do it for free, right? I'm going to bring it to that audience for free. I'll make the money up in the back end. Like money to me, I'm not worried about the money, right? You provide enough value, money will come.
The money will show up.
Yep.
Well, Trevor, it's been a pleasure. I love the fact that you're doing what you're doing. And if you're not connected in the pirate community, get connected. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you can chase us down and connect. Reach out to Trevor, make those connections, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and stay connected with the community. Because as you can see, it's very open and willing to assist and support those that need help. So I know that, kindness is cool and smiles are free. So you can enjoy the day. Trevor, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We'll be back again soon. Appreciate you.
Take
care, everyone. Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate today.